Rush Hour 2 is interesting because of that ridge, that crack running all the way across the map. There's not a lot of open space. That's probably why Terrans are so good on this map, part of the reason. But in Terran v Terran, this will probably contribute to some static playing styles. Both players will probably be kind of hesitant to run into tank fire. Usually it's a lot easier just to do a simultaneous drop and tank approach to take down any static tank lines, but this might be more difficult seeing as there are so many ridges and so little open space. Leta is also going for an armory. forGG will have faster upgrades probably because of that faster armory. Tanks really do want that +2 so that they can take down other tanks in only 2 hits. Meanwhile, forGG is running out with a group of vultures. Maybe he's looking to do some harass. Maybe he will run around the whole track of Rush Hour. This is quite possible. Rush Hour is built in somewhat of a circle so that he can circumvent any tanks, but Leta does see this. Leta is moving out to cover his expansion more carefully. And Leta is moving out with his own vultures, I think, while the vultures of forGG's are at play. Both players are treating Rush Hour 3, as a rush hour. There's so much vulture traffic right now, so many mines also going down. Ground pushes will not be so effective, even less effective than they were before. I'm surprised though that Leta hasn't gone for a dropship of any kind. He did get that early starport, but I think it's somewhat of a waste to just leave that starport there. Dropships could prove really useful in harassing. Just a dropship full of vultures really could make the difference here between these really stellar players. And here does come a dropship actually. He probably just finished making it. And yes, Leta probably does know what he's doing better than I do, but forGG does spot this dropship, and it's almost intercepted. Is it intercepted? It's going to take a couple hits from that Goliath, but it's going to survive, and Leta is continuing with this harass. He's going to drop, but forGG should know that this is coming. Leta is bringing one Wraith and that dropship. That dropship will not go down. Meanwhile, forGG is engaging some of Leta's troops. Leta does not have that many troops located in that area. I'm not sure why Leta did choose to set up position right there. He is kind of vulnerable without Goliath, without any air support, but I do believe that forGG does not have a starport yet, and Leta knows it. Leta, in the meantime, is running past with a couple of vultures. There are siege tanks waiting to intercept siege tanks and Goliath. forGG is expanding once again. I guess Leta was trying to prevent that expansion from happening, but forGG has supplied that expansion with enough units. Leta is coming in with another dropship from the south. I wonder if it'll get intercepted. Maybe it'll get spotted by some of the mines that forGG has put down. forGG is destroying a couple of his own mines. Maybe he's looking to set up closer. Leta, unable to prevent forGG's expansion, has also started to build his own expansion. Oh, these are actually Leta's mines. forGG is destroying Leta's mines and looking to open up a flank in the south, I think. That mine goes down. Luckily, well, actually forGG isn't being too careful. I'm betting he's attack moving, but those forces are enough to just attack move through any minefield, through most minefields actually. And forGG looks like he's going to try to engage these vultures. These vultures will go down. Leta's vultures will go down. They got caught in a kind of not a very good position right there. But forGG may be looking to go south and go to Leta's new expansion. Both players do have comsats. They're probably scouting each other's bases quite consistently because this is turning into quite a macro game, and expansions will have to be taken down if either player wants to take a decisive advantage. forGG is setting up in the south with just those 3 tanks and those vultures. Leta has a lot of vultures in the meantime. He's looking a bit like Nada using those vultures, but I guess he knows what he's doing. He's putting mines in a lot of key places so that ground pushes aren't possible. forGG, I think, really needs dropships or something to be able break tank line soon, because it really is difficult to move around, especially on this map, especially on Rush Hour 3. forGG is making a starport there, and we might see an engagement right now. These vultures may be able to push forward straight into those tanks, taking fire, while Leta's own tanks come and siege. But I don't think Leta will be successful. Leta has a lot of tanks, though. He may actually be successful. He has a really nice spread on those siege tanks right now, and both players are at 0-0 actually still. And all of forGG's tanks go down. Leta really did have a huge tank advantage there, and he may be able to just push forward now. There's only one tank and 4 Goliaths now. forGG's SCVs could not repair that tank in time, and those Goliaths will have to run. Goliaths will not be effective against tanks alone. forGG has backed off to that position. He's setting up a couple more of tanks. He's lost his better position closer to Leta's expansion, so he won't really be able to shell that. He's not exactly in the best position right now. He's kind of trying to vie for that southern flank, southern front, but he's not able to take it. He is defending that bottom left expansion, though. He is at 4 expansions, I believe. Meanwhile, Leta has created a lot of dropships. He will be able to do a drop anywhere, maybe on that ridge that the observers are pointing at. And this could prove very successful because of that ridge, because that ridge has the high ground, and it is so close to all those SCVs. But Leta might not be... Okay, Leta is dropping very close to the actual mineral line, just so that he isn't detected right away, and he will be able to set up these tanks and shell that expansion. Unfortunately, also the gas refinery is in range of those tanks. forGG is in trouble because he really does need that gas. He is running off of, I think, 3 bases of gas, maybe. His SCVs are also not doing much at that base. Oh, because he pulled them, but let them there. I think forGG is trying to respond as quickly as possible, but he does not have the dropship advantage that Leta does from having that early starport. And now Leta also has that science facility up. He will be getting 2-2 upgrades soon. But forGG is looking to move out and possibly attack Leta from a side that he's weak on. But Leta does look prepared. Leta is sieged. He is already sieged with a decent spread and only 1 Goliath and a turret to prevent any dropships. But forGG was not able to just do any return damage. He is not mining from that base anymore. He has no gas. He's still building SCVs from that command center, but they won't be able to do a thing. And this is looking kind of bad for forGG. He needs to effect some sort of counter on Leta while he is away on that ridge. And forGG is doing just that. He is going to get all these SCVs. Maybe not. He is busy destroying, I think, a turret. Leta did cancel that command center before it was built. He lost a couple of minerals, but that won't be so bad. Leta is dropping on this bottom left expansion of forGG's. He looks like he is going to take it. That command center will not go up. forGG was looking to expand twice, I think, in that bottom left position, but that was a little greedy. He did not have that position secured, and forGG's SCVs are forced to fight here, but they will all go, or repair, sorry. No, they are fighting. Never mind. His SCVs are fighting, but there are SCVs by Leta repairing, and this does not look good for forGG.